I am Professor Chandrakant Parkhi, living in Chandrapur, Maharashtra. So, today I will explain the concept of DC and AC load line. This is the topic from bipolar junction transistor. So, the concept of DC load line is obtained from output characteristics of CE amplifier. C means common emitter amplifier. Output characteristics of CE amplifier. It is a graph in between output voltage VCE, that is collector to emitter voltage, and output collector current IC, expressed in generally in milliampere, at constant value of base current. At constant value of base current. At constant value of base current. Now, in this output characteristics of common emitter amplifier, there are three operating regions of the BJT. So now this region shown in the figure is called as the saturation region. This region in between IB and IB, this region, it is called as the active region, and this region is called as the cutoff region. So these are the three basic operating regions of the transistor. Generally, there are four operating regions: active region, saturation region, cutoff, and inverted region of the transistors. In normal mode, generally we get three regions. Therefore, we have shown three regions on the characteristics named as active, cutoff, and saturation. Now, the border, this point, it is called extremities. This border is called extremities of saturation region and active region. Extremities of cutoff and active region. This is the point. This point is called extremities of active region and cutoff region, and this is the extremities of saturation and active region. Now, a straight line joining these two extremities and passing through the operating point of the transistor is called as a DC load line. Is called as DC load line. DC load line. So what is the DC load line? No doubt it is a straight line passing through the extremities of active saturation region and extremities of cutoff and active region. So now this DC load line, where it intercepts the y-axis or current axis, it gives the maximum value of current IC max. IC max. So the y-intercept, or it is called as the current intercept, is the maximum collector current IC max. IC max. Now, generally from common emitter amplifier, the IC max is obtained VCC upon RC. We will see in the diagram further. VCC upon RC. Now, the x-intercept, the DC load line where it intercepts the x-axis, x-intercept, it gives the value of maximum value of VC is equal to VCC. VCE is equal to generally VCC or VCE. This gives the value of VCE. Right? So x-intercept is VC and here y intercept is VCC upon RC. Y intercept is VCC upon RC, that gives the maximum value of collector current IC max. Now we have to show the DC load line is a straight line. We have to show the DC load line is a straight line. So therefore the equation of straight line is that y is equal to mx plus c. So this equation must satisfy this straight line. Then we can say that this is the straight line. So to obtain this equation, let us consider a circuit of common emitter amplifier. Now this is the diagram of common emitter amplifier using NPN transistors. This one is plus VCC, this one is RC, this one is biasing resistance RB, this voltage is plus VB, and this voltage where output is taken is called as the VC. This one is collector terminal, emitter. Voltage between collector and emitter is called as VC. The current through the collector terminal is IC, it is entering. Current through the base terminal is IB, it is also entering. And current through the emitter is outgoing, that is RE. Voltage between base and emitter generally called as VBE. Voltage between, it is the contact potential. For silicon, it is generally 0.6 to 0.7 volt, and for germanium, it is 0.2 to 0.3 volt. So now in this circuit, apply the KVL to collector to emitter loop or output loop. Apply KVL. KVL means Kirchhoff's voltage law to collector to emitter loop or CE loop. What we get? Plus VCC minus IC into RC minus IC into RC minus VCE after that ground, and therefore that is equal to 0. So apply the KVL to the collector to emitter loop, means this is the supply voltage plus VCC minus ICRC, this drop, minus voltage between collector and emitter VC, and after that ground, that is equal to 0. Now solve this equation for output collector current IC. IC is equal to VCE minus VCE. IC is equal to VCE minus VCC upon RC. Or this equation can be written as IC is equal to minus VCC upon RC. This term is first, and after that this term plus VC upon RC. Now minus VCC. Now let us see that IC is equal to, that is IC is equal to minus M. So minus 1 upon RC into VCC plus VC upon RC. So in this, compare this. So this is the basic equation. This is equation number 1. Compare equation number 1 with, compare this equation, compare with equation 1. Y is equal to mx. So IC is equal to y. This is the y intercept, and therefore m is equal to minus 1 upon RC, and constant is VC upon RC is equal to IC max, and IC max, that is the maximum value when x is equal to 0, IC is equal to VC upon RC. So these are the two terms, m slope. So what is the straight line slope? It is related. So this equation is related with y is equal to mx plus c, and therefore this is the straight line. So DC load line is a straight line having the slope minus 1 upon RC. So what this negative sign indicates that the slope is downward. The slope of this line, that is m is equal to minus 1 upon RC. That is, slope depends upon the output collector resistance RC, and this negative sign indicates that the slope is downward. Now, being this DC load line is a straight line and passes through the Q point means operating point of the transistor. So DC load line is a straight line having slope minus 1 upon RC and passing through the operating point Q. So therefore M is equal to minus 1 upon RC, IC max is equal to VCC upon RC. Now the DC load line where it intercepts the y-axis is called upper end of the DC load line. It is called as the upper end of the DC load line. Y-intercept, it is called upper end of DC load line. And X is equal to intercept VC, and that VC is equal to VCC. This is called as lower end of the DC load line. This is called lower end of the DC load line. So this is the upper end and this one is the lower end, and in between these two ends there is the operating point Q. Now after that, DC load line, AC load line. Now AC load line is more steeper than the DC load line and passes through the same operating point. So this is the AC load line. AC load line, and its slope is M is equal to minus 1 upon RC parallel RL. Minus 1 upon RC parallel RL. Now, what is the significance of the DC load line? Now, DC load line signifies the DC condition of the amplifier. So, at what value of DC collector current, collector voltage, base voltage and base value of base resistance, the transistor operates faithfully for the amplification. So, DC conditions decide the DC sides and AC conditions gives the maximum signal swing in the AC directions. So, generally the AC load line has slope minus RC parallel RL. It is also the straight line having slope minus 1 upon RC parallel RL, and it is more steeper than the DC load line, passes same through the operating point Q. No. The AC line gives the AC condition of the amplifier, that is the maximum swing of the output collector current and maximum value of VC required for the faithful amplification of the transistor when transistor is operating in the operating regions. Now next one is that when the Q point is at the center of the DC load line, operation of Q point related with the DC load line is that it is for the faithful amplification, it is desired that the operating point Q on the DC load line must be at the center of DC load line. Then we get the faithful amplification. But practically it is not possible due to the variations parameters of the transistors. What are those parameters? Those parameters are known as temperature dependent parameter, and name of these parameters are, first one is ICQ, VB and beta. So these three temperature dependent parameter of the transistor, ICQ, VBE and beta So ICQ, VB and beta, these are three temperature dependent parameters of the transistor, means that is called as IC sat I0 also. So this current is generally the saturation current. Now these three parameters generally depends on the variation in collector current. It is depends on the variations of collector current. Now what are those variations? How these vary? We will see later on. Now first let us see that this operating point Q. How to remember the operating point? It is a common point for AC load line and DC load line. AC load line and DC load line passes through the same operating point Q, and this will follow the equation IC is equal to -1 upon RC into VCC plus VC upon RC, which is a straight line. Now we will discuss the one of the problem on the concept of DC load line. So the problem is that, so see the problems. So the stability factor when transistor is working as an amplifier, its stability is decided by the three factors. The first factor is called S or S1, and it is defined as the ratio of change in output collector current to change in saturation current, and it is written as S is equal to delta IC or delta IC0, or S is equal to delta IC upon delta IC0. Similarly, the second stability factor S dash is defined as it is the ratio of change in output collector current, that is delta IC, to the change in saturation current, to the change in base to emitter voltage VBE, and it is written as S dash is equal to delta IC upon delta VBE. And third stability factor S double dash is equal to, it is defined as the ratio of change in output collector current delta IC with respect to change in the value of beta, that is delta beta, or S double dash is equal to delta IC upon delta beta. Now these three stability factor depends upon the three temperature dependent parameters of the transistor known as IC0, VB and beta. Temperature dependent parameter of BJT, parameters of BJT. First one is IC0, second one is VB, and third one is beta. All these three temperature dependent parameter depends on the temperature. So that depends on the temperature which vary the output collector current IC. Now, while defining the stability, we know that the output collector current changes with respect to change in collector saturation current, but this observation is only possible. The remaining two parameters are transistors are kept constant, that is VB and beta, it must be constants, and therefore the perfect definition of stability factor S is equal to delta IC upon delta IC0 at constant value of VB and beta. Similarly, this S is equal to delta IC upon delta IC0 at constant value of VB and beta. Similarly, S dash, it is the ratio of delta IC upon delta VB. Now here VB is varying, so kept IC0 and beta constant. IC0 and beta is constant. Here IC0 and beta is constant. Similarly, while varying the third factor beta, keep IC0 and VB constant. Here IC0 and VB is constant, and here delta IC upon delta is same, IC0 and VB is constant, and therefore the perfect definition of stability factor S, S dash and S double dash are given by this formula. So it means this stability factor gives the significance of output collector current when it is operating as an amplifier, and how it varies with temperature dependent parameter IC0, VB and beta, and these three temperature dependent parameters are responsible to change the output collector current IC. So now we will discuss the concept of DC load line, how it related with the amplifier output collector current. It is already we have seen that in the biasing case, IC is equal to beta times IB plus 1 plus beta into IC0. So 1 plus beta times IB plus 1 plus beta into IC0. This is the basic output collector current for the common emitter amplifier. Now using this equation, we will obtain the general equation for stability. Now to obtain the general equation for stability, differentiate this equation with respect to IC0. So we will differentiate this equation with respect to IC, will be partially, and this differential is partially. So therefore delta IC, so what are the varying parameters here? IC, IC0 and IB. So replace that delta, therefore delta IC is equal to beta into delta IB plus 1 plus beta into delta IC0. Delta IC0. Now, so divide this equation by IC, delta IC. So divide this equation by delta IC. So this equation becomes delta IC upon delta IC beta into delta IB upon delta IC plus 1 plus beta into delta IC0 upon delta IC. Now simplifying the above equation, we get the equation delta IC upon delta IC, that it becomes 1 is equal to beta into delta IB upon delta IC plus 1 plus beta into delta IB IC0 upon delta IC. Now 1 minus, now let us see that 1 minus beta into delta IB upon delta IC is equal to delta IC0 upon delta IC, this value will be becomes now 1 plus beta, this becomes equal 1 upon beta, 1 plus beta here. But delta IC upon delta IC0, delta IC upon delta IC0 is equal to S, that is stability factor. Therefore S is equal to 1 plus beta upon, this equation become 1 plus beta reciprocal 1 minus beta into delta IB upon delta IC. So this is the required equation to find the stability. This is called the equation number 2, and it is the general equation of stability. S is equal to 1 plus beta upon 1 minus beta into delta IB upon delta IC. This equation is called general equation of stability. Now in this equation we have to find the delta IB upon delta IC. So how to find the delta IB and delta IC? There is a procedure. So when transistor is working as an amplifier, we get by the procedure delta IB upon delta IC. So the general equation of stability is that, the general equation of stability, already we have seen, general equation of stability is that S is equal to 1 plus beta upon 1 minus beta into delta IB upon delta IC. Now in this equation we have to find delta IB and delta IC. So to find delta IB and delta IC, to find delta IB and delta IC, the rules are: number 1, find the value of base current IB, find IB by applying KVL, to input circuit of BJT, to input circuit of BJT such that it contain the term VBE. The term VBE, that is very IMP. It contains the term VBE. It means that in the KVL of input circuit, the VB term must be included. Second one is that differentiate this equation of IB, differentiate this equation of IB partially to get delta IB upon delta IC. Now in third step, substitute this value delta IB and delta I1, substitute delta IB upon delta IC in equation 1. So this is the equation 1. We get the stability. Then we get stability. So how to obtain the stability of any circuit of the BJT in terms of biasing and amplifier? First we should know the general equation of stability. S is equal to 1 plus beta upon 1 minus beta into delta IB upon delta IC. How we obtain? Already we have derived this equation. Now in this equation the unknown is delta IB upon delta IC. To find the value of delta IB upon delta IC, the first condition is that, or first rule is that, find the value of IB by applying the KVL to the input circuit of BJT such that it contains the term VB. And second, after getting the IB, differentiate this equation partially to get delta IB upon delta IC and substitute this value of delta IB and delta IC in general equation of stability. We get the stability. So now after that, the stability factor S dash and S double dash can be found out. So now we will explain this concept of stability by taking one of the examples in the next class. Now in the next class we will discuss the biasing of the transistor, what are the methods of biasing and how it can be achieved. Okay.